can you talk about who was that first entrepreneur that started your family business?
Yeah, our founder. So R.A. Jodrey was my great-grandfather. He was definitely the true essence of an entrepreneur. He stopped going to school at the age of 12 and got his first job.
Wow.
And he left grade school and became a harvester of apples in the Annapolis Valley. And by the age of 18, he had his own company and was exporting apples to England, and it just continued from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
What an entrepreneur.
Yes, absolutely.
But he had many other successes.
He sure did.
So where did it go from there?
Yeah. I guess after he was exporting apples, he really believed in the wealth of community, and so he got together with a partner at the time. He was also a believer in partnership in business, and he had the story I've heard because I had met him once, and I don't have the memory of.
Oh wow, you actually met him.
I did.
That's incredible.
I was one, apparently. But he had a partnership with someone, and he had read a design textbook on dams and building dams. And so he decided with his partner that he was going to build a dam in the valley in White Rock, built the dam of which he ran, and it provided power for Windsor, Wolfville, that whole area. Wow. And the Annapolis Valley, and then eventually sold it to, which is now Nova Scotia Power.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That is a crazy pivot from apple growing and exporting to being an industrialist with a power plant.
Exactly. And so I think the stories I hear about him, people were, talk to him about, he was always interested in what other people were doing and what other people needed and how he can service that need. What can I do to make that happen? And that's one of the things that I really value and aspire to in my own path, but also in guiding my children is that curiosity to get really curious about where's the need and what can I do to service that and how can I make money doing it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I did some reading on your great-grandfather as well. One of the things that came across was he did have incredible tenacity. And I read a story about during the Great Depression, he lost a ton of money in the stock market crash.
Yes.
But then rebuilt his wealth and then some after that.
Yeah.
Can you talk at all about that?
For sure. He worked for 40 years before he had sold that power company to Nova Scotia Power, and he took those funds and he put them all in the stock market. And to your point, yes, not such a great idea at the time, but who knew?
Yeah.
One of the things that I find the most interesting about that is that he still had an operation company called Minas Basin Pulp and Power, Pulp and Paper, and it has been said that it's because of that operation that he was able to build his wealth back up again.
Yeah.
And so there's always, especially in my generation in family business, this talk of, how long can family businesses last within operations? Is it better to take all of that money and put it in an investment portfolio and have it managed that way? And we, family businesses talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
When's the right time to do that? Is there ever a right time to do that? But in that scenario, it served him well to stay in operations, and he continued to expand into forestry, into pulp molding, which then we saw CKF come in, and that's our pulp molded products, and so it served us well that way.
So RA's tenacity, and I read a excerpt from what I believe was his biography.
Okay.
And it said that after he passed away, somebody was going through his office and found a poem.
Yeah.
And as a little gift, thank you, I just was wondering if you were aware of this poem and if you could maybe just read it so our viewers could hear it.
I would love to. I am aware of this poem. It has been sketched in my own, I would say, business vision book for a very long time.
Oh, really? Cool.
And what I find interesting is that today, as I was reviewing some of the information for you, I found it again, and I sent it to my family. And
no way.
Thought of the day, because that's part of my role, which I'm sure we're going to get into.
Yeah.
I'd love to read it. So yes, after he died, they were going through his belongings in his desk, and they found this little piece of paper cut out from either a magazine or a newspaper, and they had no idea where it came from. And it says, "Don't quit. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems afar. So stick to the fight when you're the hardest hit. It's when things seem worst. You must not quit."
Yeah.
So beautiful.
It is.
All right, I'm Luke Hanson McDonald, and this was Beyond the Family Business. Please like and subscribe and share with members of business families or family businesses that you may know. Thank you.